Yes. So, William, you're always the first one here. That's kind of cool. So tell me why the
Well,
number.
I do a default thing, so I always uh, typically 5 minutes before. This
Uh,
is my
that's
this is my
um,
process. Yeah.
that would be a good process for me to follow because I have a different way of doing it. I'm 5 minutes late and say, "Oh my God, I've missed it again."
Fair enough. And I think unlike a lot of people too, I don't know about you, but I won't do back to backs. I won't do
No.
anything within 15 minutes of the end of another call. I won't accept a subsequent call. So I've got time to
Amy.
do my thing and get ready and stuff.
Yeah. So tell me why the number 14?
Well, um, I'm was until a few years ago a soccer player. I started playing soccer when I was 6,
Uh-huh.
and I was always number 14. And when I started my practice back in 2015, I was trying to think of something, unique and memorable and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, and searching a lot of stuff, didn't really find anything I really liked. And I thought, see what happens here. So, and at the time, I was focused mostly on tech, and so I landed on number 14 because of the reason I just told you. But it also turns out that 14 is in the periodic table is I can't remember what the number they call it for silicone.
Mhm. Ah, that's kind of cool.
So hence the way it's written, it's like a capital N, the small u, and then the underscore 14, like a symbol in the periodic table, which doesn't really apply to my practice anymore, but I wasn't going to go and change the name because the original uh, rationale still holds true. So
Do you know what's quite
there you
amazing is
go.
how we can be sometimes really creative and then other times, like I find this is very creative. 14, silicon, I mean, very creative. Hey, Emil, how you doing?
It's interesting,
Uh,
and I appreciate. I don't typically think of myself as a creative person, but I appreciate what you're saying.
No, no. So, Emil, you made my day today. Yeah, baby.
really?
Do, do.
Me?
Yeah, you were there. I saw it. So I've gotten a few back today, and I just have the numbers, but yours is one of them that I have the graphic for. So I can say that's cool.
Thank you.
So you've gone from the Netherlands to, top the charts, man. And do you feel that it's getting better? Yeah, cool.
Yes, yes. Brian,
Yes.
yeah, can I check? You say that you have to as for the part of the work you're trying to require to build an app, right? Do you really need to build an app? Because I want to try to build a marketing. I want to try and market what I'm trying to do. You know,
Okay.
so it's not exactly an app of sorts, but it's how you actually reach a different persona and all that. Is that something that would be considered as an output that you're looking for as part of the thing, or it has to be an app?
No, it doesn't have to be an app. I'll go through a little bit the details there, but basically you need something where you have some instructions of what it's doing and it has to do something.
Yeah,
Okay. So you could create a project if you want and say, look, my project is to help refine how I present this. That's good
yeah.
enough.
Okay.
So, okay. So everybody, if you're willing to put your note in the chat, say how you're doing today. I'm feeling pretty chuffed. To be honest with you, um, teaching a course like this is it's tough. Yeah, because you have to get your energy up. And I don't know if you remember this graphic from the first day, jumping out of a plane with no parachute and sewing it on the way down. I didn't have the course finished when I started. So I've actually been writing day by day, and with my little mugging in the middle, that caused lots of issues to write. But I'm excited. And what I'm really excited about is when you get a result back and you see something happening. So for me, I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, but I've also been a teacher for a bit. And there's sort of sometimes this psychic income that comes out when somebody says, oh, I did something that I couldn't do before. And then you get pumped up. So I've got two numbers here. I've got one from, who was it? Nestor. And I got one from Emil going from good to Nestor. I don't know if you're on the call here, but you actually score higher than I do. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much. I work
So
a
I'm
lot.
I'm gonna have to change what I'm doing or change the scoring model so that I still score better. And so
I really thank you. Thank you to you. It's very value added in this course for me.
okay, so if people put in the numbers, that will be cool. By the way, if you do this, please save the results because in the course evaluation, I'm going to ask you to copy them back again. So that would help me a lot. Alrighty. Anybody want to share anything? Anything good today?
I
Hey,
was going to
Chris. Yeah,
share
go ahead.
something bad, but no, my scores actually went down quite a bit, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong with the prompting there, but I'll take another look at it.
Who's talking right now?
Sean here.
But were you a genius before, Sean, and you've just become a mere mortal now?
Now it's like in somewhere in the 60s, I think, and scoring down to 40-ish now, so it seems strange.
Oh man,
But
don't.
it doesn't match what I'm feeling because I feel like I am getting more out of AI. So it's also the context. It didn't really want to run the prompt right away. So I don't know. I'll take another look at it.
Okay, try it again.
Yeah.
So you can get your confirmation bias going here. So I believe something different. So you run it again until it gives you the answer that you want it to give you. So that's one way of using AI. Other people, Linda, how you doing?
Hey, hey!
Hey, hey, girl,
Um,
we're done. We're done.
we are! So my score was an 89, and I was hoping to go up, but you've just made my chat really adversarial.
Really?
So thank you for that. Yes, I needed some adversarial thinking.
Oh, goodness. And did your score go up or down? It can't go up very much from 89.
It went up a little bit. I feel like because chat is now challenging me a lot more, it could have gone up more than it did.
Mm.
But it was good. It's been good. I think the most important thing that you've taught me from where I was is to actually give the AI more. So, I have my moral quandary around how much of the mind do you give to the machine? But you've actually given me a framework to challenge it without feeling that I'm giving up my own intellectual ground, which is fantastic.
Good job. Anyone else want to share something? And then we're off to the races. Alrighty. So we're off. And so we're on the last stop. So if we take our car, we're at the final stop. We went through the foundations, and I know some of you weren't too excited about the foundations bit. You said, "Oh God, I know this stuff." But we also went through the stuff on Sparks, and I think what you'll see is each day that you do this, you'll start using AI a little bit differently. And we're at, in some ways, the most important point along the way. Is actually sometimes what you need to do is you need to reflect and you say, did I learn anything here? Did I get any better? If you're in like Sean's case where you actually got worse, maybe what you need to do is say, oh, I don't come back to Bryan again, but I hope that's not the case. And figure out how you can go forward from this spot. And actually, your final project is about stopping to think. So the question that I have for you is in general, you're using AI. You've done 10 prompts. You're about 45 minutes in. Um, Assuming that Claude didn't knock you out and say you've run out of tokens for today, do you actually ever stop and think? Or you just keep on barreling down? Your head's down, we're gonna go, we're gonna go, we're gonna go. Tell me. Dave, I see you smiling there. I think your Claude break probably landed home for a little bit there.
Yeah. Well, one of the good things is it feels like when the internet was new, where you actually had to wait for a dial-up and this kind of stuff. So when it starts working, sometimes actually get up and do something else or whatever else, and even that's just freeing up my thinking and having a different way of looking at things. So that's helpful. And like you say, it's something with this idea of actually, just going at it with a different perspective is helpful.
Okay. So I searched really long and hard for something to prove that if you stop and think, you will get better at your use of AI. I didn't find anything. So I actually had to go someplace else and find something. So there was a study that was done by The Economist, and they showed people in two types of companies: the go, 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 just do it, and the people that put in strategic pauses. Okay, strategic pauses feel slow, strategic pauses feel uncomfortable. But in their research, they found that these companies have 40% more sales and 52% higher profits. Now, what I have to believe, if you do the same thing with AI and you stop and you think about what you're going to do, you will probably have similar benefits. If anybody finds the statistic for me, I would like to see it. Now, what I believe is there's two reasons why you want to pause. The first reason is to pause because you've spent too long doing something and the results are not getting any better. Your 14th version of your strategic plan is probably not much better than your 13th version, and probably not better than your 12th version. So you have to say, look, I'm done. The second thing is when you stop and think, you actually reflect on the output that's coming back. And when you reflect on the output, you can redirect it. And as Linda said, you can take control of the beast again. And I think that's going to get you in the right direction. So what you have is what I'd love to see is that you have a thought or an impulse, you reach for AI, you automatically pause, you think, and then you act. And I know for a fact that you're not going to do that. Now, one of the things that did come up is when you changed your instructions, I've actually put it in by accident. So actually, it will stop you every now and then and say, are you doing things right? So, Zenia, you got a question up on top.
Sorry, just wanted to ask, do you share some slides or?
I should be, but I guess I am not. Am I doing this again? Oh, goodness gracious.
I thought you just
Marcelo.
wanted to show us your bald head.
Oh, goodness. Linda, come on. Be nice to me. So let me go back just a second here because I want to show the numbers again. Boom, 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 boom. So here are the numbers I had. This was Nestor 41 to 86, Emil for 32 to 73. Those are good numbers. And thank you for letting me know that I didn't have my slides shared so that I can go back. All right, we are here. So we were that. So what I've been doing is tricking you a little bit, putting it into your system so things come out. And we'll see how that comes together. But I think what you'll see is a good opportunity to get better. Now, the capstone project is a really good example of stopping and thinking. Because actually what I'm going to force you to do is actually think about something you'd want to do. And if you think about something you want to do, you will actually be able to plan it a little bit better. All right. So what is the capstone for this course? I'm trying to think who, Adrian, you were talking before. So what I would like you to do is to make an AI tool for any challenge in your life. Anything. It could be that you can't get your kids to do their homework. This is a way to trick them. It doesn't matter what it is. It just needs to do something useful for you. And my carrot for you is you have a certificate of completion, which if you go to the website and you mark all the lessons as done, and that's on your honor, you will get a certificate of completion for the course. Now, if you want a certificate of mastery, which is saying, look, I know that you can do some of the stuff which is here, you need to turn in your capstone project. Okay for everybody? Does the bribe work? Good.
Sorry, Brian, just so I'm clear, when you say turn in, what does that mean?
You will see it in just a bit.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's a good question, and all you need to do is you need to go. We have a review tool which says this is your tool, and you say this was the objective, these are the instructions, and it will tell you if you built a tool that did that thing. By the way, that was a little bit complicated to make. So this is from The Sound of Music. I'm trying to remember what it was in The Sound of Music, but you say tomato, I say tomato. There's 4 similar tools out there. You have a Gemini Gem, you have ChatGPT Project, you have ChatGPT Custom GPTs, and Claude Projects. I would like you, in preference, to use one of these. Okay, you don't need to. You can use Copilot. You can use Grok if you want. You can use Hugging Face if you want. I'm just not certain if the evaluation criteria will work on the other models, but it should. Now, the good news is 2 of these are free, so you don't even need a subscription. Gemini Gem and the ChatGPT project, you don't need anything. and they have different capabilities. The one that's sort of my go-to is still a custom GPT because it actually is the easiest to make and it's probably best in terms of the results that you get back. So Linda wants to make something for Amazon orders showing up at my door. You want to an AI that shoots the people as they come. So the goal here is to change the way that you're using AI. So that when you start, you don't start from zero, but you start somewhere in the middle of the conversation and get there easier. Now, a show of hands, how many of you have built a GPT or a gem or something like that? One, two, okay, three, four. So about half of you have done something like this in the past, and half of you have not. So for the half of you who have not, this is really a step forward. For the half of you that have, you don't need this slide because you know it's not very difficult. So there's the belief that you are going to do something like this. You need to be a coder. You need to be a programmer. You don't need to be a programmer or a coder. You write in plain language. You add up your documents, configuration screen. You're done, finished, easy. And the secret that comes up is if you ask AI to help you, it'll help you on almost all the stages. So as William said, GPT will actually provide you the instructions. So if you've used this a few times, the step-by-step model will disappear. So if you've made too many GPTs, it doesn't give you the step-by-step. But if you're there for the first time, it'll actually tell you, what would you like to call this? What is the objective of your thing? And you just fill in the blanks as you go. So what is the goal? Is you move from re-explaining your context every time, copy pasting your instructions every time, to something where you have objectives, data, and you get consistent as it can be, results over time. How common is this? There's approximately 3 million custom GPTs up right now on the GPT store. A company that I did do some innovation consulting, but not AI work, is Moderna. They have 750 internal GPTs. And typically the results you'll get is you get about a 25% increase in speed and a 40% increase in quality. Okay, what do you need to do this? 4 things. You have to decide what you want to do. You could have data, yes or no. You probably need to define what it's supposed to do, and you need to say what is the output that you want at the end of it. So we saw this before, and we looked at the thing I was using to make the course exercises. I use something called True North. I spoke it out. I answered a bunch of questions and put together my objectives quick and easy. For the data, I did a deep research, and then I reviewed the stuff, and then I asked, actually, how do I make this? And it told me how to make it. It gave me instructions. I sent them over to ChatGPT. ChatGPT corrected them. Everything was tested and done 1 hour later. Okay, so we're going to
Can
make
I
it. Go
can I
ahead.
maybe give an alternative to the data for those who want a GPT that perhaps isn't dogmatic?
Yeah.
I find that you can replace data with context. So you tell it its objectives, you tell it the context in which it must work, and then you move on to the work methods and target output.
Yeah, I think that's a really good. So really what you're trying to do is give it the place to think. And sometimes the more data you give it, the better it gets. And sometimes the more data you give it, the more wacky it gets. So you have to be careful of what you upload. All right. So to make this simple and easy, so I have a little timer here. Okay. What I would suggest is when you do this, you set a timer and you say, I'm going to give myself 1 hour to go from stop to finish. You put a cup of coffee on your desk and you say, I'm going to get done in that period of time. if you make this overthink it, it's going to take you extra time. So what we have is 4 tools, which will get you through the steps pretty easy. If you want to set up your objectives, there is a tool there, which is a Make It True North GPT, which is actually to define objectives of something. And all you need to do is open that. I'm working on a project. Some details are below. Please ask me questions one at a time to help me prepare a clear, simple set of instructions. And that's it. Christoph, do you have your hand up from before, or is it a new question? I think it's from before.
You are correct. I'm sorry. It was from
No
before.
problem. As far as data, so the data could be, as Linda was saying, context, or it could be data for your specific challenge. So for example, if I wanted to make in-class exercises, I might want to look at what good in-class exercises people have done in the past. My go-to for this, but it's a little bit complicated, is Notebook LM. Is you type in a question in Notebook LM, it goes searches for about 10 minutes and it finds everything you want to know about some subject. And it will give you a little report. You can download that report and that can become your deep research. An easy way to do this if you want to do it is I'm working on the following challenge. Please do a deep research prompt that will help me collect the useful information I need to solve this challenge. Then you go over to Notebook LM, you go to Claude, you go to ChatGPT, you go to Gemini, and you run it. There is, in the instructions as well, a way of making instructions for your GPT. Hey. I'm in class right now.
It's impossible to be in the house.
Okay, I come back. So the instructions there that you have to go through are, help me write my instructions. You give it objectives. It'll go through things step by step. Next place is you figure out how you want your output. One way that you can do this is you can evaluate. That's my wife, by the way, behind me. She snuck in. Do you want to wave to people, Luciana?
Yeah.
You can imagine our week going more complex. We have a moth infestation in our house, and they had the fumigators here, so she had to come up to my office here to join me upstairs. All right, so your objectives, pretty straightforward, is build your AI tool. And I'm going to send you all the instructions. So define your objectives. Number 1, gather your data, figure out how you want it to come together. Everything's available at this step. Now, I want to answer William's question, how do you turn this stuff in? So we have a guide, and that guide is going to be in the chat. It will take you through things step by step, pretty straightforward. And then you need 3 things to submit your project. You need to say what you want to do. You need to say your objectives, and you need your working instructions. And then what you need to do is you need to click on a link, and that link brings you to the GPT review tool. And you say, I want to submit my project. That's pretty obvious. And you start there. You paste in 3 things, your project details, your objectives, working things into the GPT. If you forget one, it'll ask you. You get a report, and it will tell you if it works or it doesn't. You copy everything. You go to the capstone page, copy, paste it back. You will get a pass or a fail. And here is a lie, you don't get your certificate yet. In fact, what happens is you make it, you review it, you submit it on the website, you fill in the course evaluation, which is my way to get you to do this. You wait a little bit and you get your certificate back. So I want to congratulate you on all the distance through 4 days, then 5 days. Some of you got much better. And I think for most of you, we arrived at our initial promise. Do you think different about AI after the time together? I see Chris, her eyes went up. Yes. Do you work different? Yes. Will you make one useful project? Well, you do your capstone, you will, and you get a certification. So the deal that we had at the beginning, show up, do your work, do the capstone, get some feedback. We give you a certificate at the end. And I want to say it's been my honor to be with you along this process. And I have a final suggestions for you. First, this is from my days at McKinsey. They have an expression at work. When you work really hard and really, really, really hard, they say you're boiling the ocean. Focus in on one task. Don't make something that does everything. Second, be lazy. Ask AI for help along the way. Third, use the tools that are there. Fourth, set a timer. And lastly, most important, have some fun. This should be cool and it shouldn't be hard. Everything is there. And we are actually 5 minutes early in finishing today. Any thoughts, suggestions, feedback? How do you guys feel today? And what I'd love to...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. So what I'd love to do is if you... Have I stopped sharing my screen again?
Nope.
No.
Nope. It's still shared. Okay.
It's still shared.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So what I'd love to do is, if people are willing to, is just do a roundtable. Give me 2 or 3 words. What did you like? What didn't you like? No long sentences because people are going to turn off. We're just going to do a quick tour around the table if you're willing to. Linda, you're up on the top of my screen. Tell me how you feeling.
Well, as someone who started as a power user, I have learned some things. So specifically, I have a distrust of the objectives of the people creating AI. So as you know, my question is, how much do you give to the machine? How much do you keep to yourself? And you've managed to create that very tight line for me. And I really appreciate that. So I did learn something, even as someone who uses AI quite proficiently. Thank you so much.
Cool. I saw Chris with a question over here. What are the timelines for completing the project? It's whenever you want to finish it. I have a guy who will evaluate it when they come in, but do it quick. Don't make it really hard. Dave, you're up. I'm just going to go around the top of my screen.
Yeah, I'm feeling grateful. I really appreciate it. I like the format of doing it a number of days. And for me, I really appreciated as well the first initial prompt, which is basically to look at what I've been doing and to get a score and to get some feedback there, and then to be able to kind of look at that as we go along. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Adrian, you're the next up on my screen.
Thanks a lot, Brian. I think I'm a total novice when it comes to AI, so I've been trying to immerse myself in AI for the past 2 weeks and try to diligently do the projects that or the exercises that you got us to do. I feel it's helpful, in fact, and I felt that even some of the things that I produced at the end were a lot more insightful and a lot of critical thinking behind it. And AI also did respond equally insightful, and I thought that was fantastic.
Okay, so I've got the people started. Does anybody want to chime in? I'm not going to go around and call on everybody. I just went on the top row of my screen. Does anybody else want to say something? William, how do you feel? I'll keep on calling.
No, no problem. I'm good. I mean, interested to hear perspectives on different people and how they're using. I've not. I'll just be straight. I don't know that I've learned anything specific, although I did use some of the stuff we learned in the reframe, I did have my assistant rewrite some of the customizations that were already in place to integrate some of those elements without obliterating the stuff that was already there. So I'm expecting that's going to change some of my outputs, not materially, but in a slight way. But I did, generally speaking, enjoy having different people from different usage backgrounds just to have a different point of view on maybe not even how I use, but just different point of view on how it's being used out there in the world outside of my office.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the candor which comes up there, and that's good. Sladanya, you're up next.
Yes. So thank you very much. I'm really happy that I joined. And for me, I learned more how to navigate because I thought that somehow before AI was leading me, and now I feel that I can really like put some directions what I want and like be more like critical thinker. So that's very good. And I would also say that the format of the training was very good in a way that invested time and getting results like the learning out of it. It's very good. So I feel it like it was light. I could follow next to all the other things I have. So I think like 10 days concentrated on that, but like with not so overwhelming, materials and everything. So I think the amount of inputs was very good that we could gain the results. So thank you very much.
So you get a t-shirt saying, I'm the boss of AI now. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Taiwo, you're up.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. For me, it's a mix of full attendance and not so much of full attendance because the training always comes while I'm at work. So, but despite all that, I think I get the whole essence of the training, and I was able to get, a lot of improvement in my efficiency using AI. But what will really help me in the long run is if I can take another week to go through all the training videos and review all the parts that I missed so I can really get the best out of it. But honestly, this is a very valuable 2 weeks that was spent with you, Brian. Well done. Thank you very much.
Cool. Emil, you're the last one with your hand up, and then we're going to turn it if anybody wants to ask a question.
Okay, quickly, 5 words because I wanna time an issue. Think, interact, reframe, tool, and thankful. 5 words.
Emil, you're a star. And I figured someone who's Hispanic, you'd have to talk more, but that was very good. Christoph.
Exactly what Emil said. No, thank you, Brian. Power user as well. So some of the stuff were not new, but again, hearing them from a different voice, different way of using it was very useful. Other ones helped me reframe, retrain a little bit way of thinking. So very much appreciated. Also, specifically, I enjoyed talking to the audience. We had a couple opportunity to exchange and see whether we had different level or different ideas. That was really good. And as we're switching to questions, as I think Taiwa was saying, following the training, maybe I don't know if you have some kind of ideas of sending a follow-up document, say, hey guys, here's the summary, use this, use that, something that forces people to use the information so that the recollection of the information stays strong. Thank you so much, Brian. That was very helpful as always.
So the biggest challenge when you teach something is get people to actually use it over an extended period of time. So maybe I'll be your guardian angel every once in a while. I'll send you a reminder. Yulia, I can let you go, and then I'm going to ask what question for people here.
So for me, I'm using AI not for project, but mostly for helping to structure my English. It was interesting to see how better you can give a prompt to AI, how to use like brackets, for example. I would like to play with it a few more days and to repeat some exercises, but it was interesting. Thank you.
So I have one last question here, and that is I found there was one thing we lost out here, and that was interaction in the group. I started with this with the breakout rooms, and I just felt they fell flat. Does anybody have any idea how we could do that? For example, if we did a networking or challenge talk or something like that, can you think of any way I could get you guys to know each other better?
Yeah, maybe the homework could be shared. Few groups meet up for homework. I don't know if that would be easy to do timing wise, but why not?
Actually, that would be something like my MBA program. So basically, what I do is I set up a work group, and then I have people, they're responsibility partners. So the group has to finish the homework, and that would actually be really cool. That's a good idea.
This may be simple, Bryan, but sorry, go ahead.
Please don't. I hate group work.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Even with us.
Come on, Linda. They're nice people here.
Being nice and being productive are not the same.
Okay. William, you were going to make a comment?
I was going to say, maybe I'm oversimplifying, but maybe just forget about technology and breakout room, but just a moderated discussion on a particular topic or series of topics, and just the man in the middle, in this case, you maybe, or somebody else, just has to kind of manage who's speaking, how they're speaking, that kind of thing. Just similar to how we're doing it here, but just have the facilitator manage who has the conch, if you will, like who has the speaking stick, and exchange ideas that way. Because I'm with you, the breakout rooms were kind of,
yeah, they didn't work.
Yeah, they're kind of funky. Yeah.
All right.
So maybe you can, just really quickly, maybe you can do a 1-2-4 all, maybe at the top of a couple sessions, 1-2-4 all in breakout rooms on a topic, AI related, personal related, whatever it is, liberating structures format, just to get energy flowing.
What would be really good is if we started, maybe what we do, Dwayne, would be start the talk 10 minutes early and just throw people in breakout rooms if they want to show up. And if they don't want to show up, they don't show up. I think that would be.
Even just at the top of the course, not even necessarily every day. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Linda, you wouldn't have to come at all, and you wouldn't have to meet anybody. So that would be good. Nestor, you're the last one, and then we're going to be off with the words of wisdom for the future.
Okay. Just one idea, and ask your permission, and we co-create maybe something. I have 100 employees, and I think for my last and the final of the course, the last task is, do you know the Pokajoke in Japanese Toyota builders? Pokajoke is a name for you don't doing things wrong. Is if I can make a prompt, a Gemma in Gemini, in order to use this knowledge I get from you for all my 100 employees, don't use in a wrong way the Gemini AI. Do you follow me?
Yeah. So basically a prompt improver or something like that. Yeah?
No. It's directly a prompt, right? For me, I sent to you in order to check that do not allow mistakes. Is grill me methodology and red team methodology.
Yeah.
In order to use sparks, but don't allow.
So Nestor, what I'm going to do is, why don't we come back and chat about this? I'm going to say, stick with me. We're going to go through this together. I want to let everybody feel that you can,
okay. Yes.
Feel that you can leave without upsetting anybody's feelings. If anybody wants to stick longer, but right now, go. May the force be with you. May I see wonderful results. May everything be fantastic. May your children prosper and multiply, and may you have very happy lives and use AI in a responsible and a smart way. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Bryan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
And just a quick question. Sorry. Yeah, I just want to ask how long we will have the access to the materials from the training?
Probably forever.
Okay, then. All good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All the best. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Nestor, I'm happy to chat with you. I was just noticing we were losing a couple people as we were going there because they're saying I didn't get this.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I'm sending to you an email with this idea because it's difficult to me in the middle of the business trip. I can explain my idea, but this is an easy idea that I get from this course, and it's very useful for my employees.
Okay.
Uh,
So let
so
me look
I
at your
write.
email and I'll come back to you on it. Is that okay?
Okay, I write to you and send an example of
All
this
right,
idea.
perfect. Perfect.
Thank,
Thank you very
thank
much,
you, thank you
Nestor.
very much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Linda, you're still there with your hand raised.
I just raised it now. Yeah, I see that it's me and a bunch of note takers, except for Christoph.
Yeah,
Um, this has been a lovely course, Brian. Thank you so much. And starting as a power user, I was really skeptical actually. And then sorry, my network decided to drop because dangers of working in the third world. Um, but this has been really useful. And I think that the only piece of feedback that I would really give on a design perspective is I think that when you get to a proficient enough use of AI, the how of it and the why of it begin to invert importance. I think there's a curve where a lot of people don't know how to use AI. And someone previously mentioned this, that people who need to be taught how to use AI have very different needs from those who need to be taught how to optimize the AI. Especially from an institutional perspective, we've been forced by our employer to really engage this technology and to really get into the nuts and the bolts and the weeds of it. So I really started to derive value in this last 3 days, where we talk a bit more about the actual how do you come from a point of simply getting what you want from AI to a point of getting the best that you possibly can out of this technology? Because I think if I'm going to burn a small lake every time I engage a project with this thing, I really need the output to be so much more superior than what
Yeah.
I would get brainstorming with two or three humans.
Yeah.
And that's not to say the course was not useful. It absolutely was. But I think there is a space to distinguish between those two usage groups, people who need to learn how and perhaps don't have the exposure and don't yet quite comprehend how to engage an algorithm, and those who have engaged the algorithm and now want to know how do I perhaps an American phrase would be game the algorithm. How do I get the best out of it every single time?
Yeah. So I think what would be interesting here, and Christoph, I'd love your point of view on this, is actually making the course probably two speeds. So I think the first 4 days are kind of basic. You probably didn't get too much out of that. And actually what you do is you make, a 2 week program, but the first week is for everybody, is for the people that are starting, and the second week is for the people that are a little bit more advanced and wanting to get a bit more out of it. I think that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
I like that
And
from
then
a
maybe
targeting.
also, oh, go ahead, Christoph.
No, go. I like that from a targeting standpoint of your. Sorry, I was eating, so that's why my camera was off. I have to get out of the hotel in the next 20 minutes. The the only thing is that some people, so you have to define beginner users, power users, or whatever nomenclature on that. But sometimes, people think they are one or the other, and they are wrong either way, as we all do sometimes. So maybe if you do that, the first day of the second week has to be a catch-up week, so that the people that say, "No, I'm a power user," and they realize, "Oh shit, I'm not." I didn't know that stuff. So they are up to the level you want. And Linda, I love the first. Where you located, Linda?
I am in South Africa. I'm in
Okay,
Durban. Yeah.
I like the way the expression you use every time I burn a lake. And the reason I mentioned that is whenever I'm going to I live in the US. I'm French, but I live in the US, and Bryan and
Oh,
I.
my condolences on the quality of the croissants. I lived in France and en Suisse
I'm in
between
Mexico
12
right
and
now.
14. Oh
You
no! And then I
couldn't time
lived
it
in
any better.
Canada. I went to school in Canada for my university. So the quality difference, I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Yes, it is. This is as good as you get
There's
it in
there's a
Cancun.
pain you experience and you can't explain it to people.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm so sorry. Je suis désolée.
The funny thing is, we had Bryan and I are on a call on a Monday with a bunch of entrepreneurs in the mostly in the US, some in Europe, and we had one day where we talked about the impact of environment on the environment of AI, and different opinions. But really, what I see is for the American tendency, Bryan is like, yeah, we are polluting, and that's creating a lot of AI that will find a solution to environment in the future. And that's how we do. We spend more energy to create more solution. Is the very much angle that you see, everybody's slightly different. And then when I go to Europe, even more to, on this call, people are where we are, people are more advanced, like, probably to your level, and, some are programmers, some are in between. And when I go toward Europe, it's all environment, no advantage. So I just saw when you say burner lake, I was like, I'm a power user. I use AI for the right thing, but I'm also conscious that every time I'm wasting resources. I just wanted to completely. Sorry, Bryan. I went on a tangent on a something different from the class, but I found that interesting.
But
Yeah,
Linda,
the considerations become ethical. When you use the technology enough, you become intimate with its costs. So you really want to maximize its benefits because you're aware of what it costs to use this technology.
So Linda, let me ask you a question. Do you ever eat hamburgers?
You see that's a weird one because no, I eat meat, but I don't like hamburgers.
Okay, you eat a steak, yeah?
I love a steak.
Okay, so how many months of using AI is equal to the water impact of one steak?
I would say, where is your steak from? My steaks are locally sourced in South Africa, grown on indigenous farms with natural methods. But I get your point because we have this discussion. As an organization, we use the cloud. So you have to think about what progress costs. And I think that for me, who I will be very honest, I lean towards the far left in my personal politics, but I am a pragmatist and a Taurus. I like nice things, so I engage capitalism. I think not enough of us ask ourselves, what does my progress cost, and is my progress worth what it costs?
Okay,
because many of us have been insulated from the value chain of what our progress costs. Now, if you ask me, do you eat steak and have you ever slaughtered a cow or seen one slaughtered or slaughtered your own animals? Yes, I have. I'm aware of what it costs me to like the things I like.
Okay. So let me give you the number. 7 months of heavy AI use is one hamburger.
Made in America or?
We'll call
it. Doesn't matter because you still use grain and water.
Yeah.
Well, see, are you using imported grain or are you using sorghum, which is indigenous, which are water intensive? Aha, this is the same.
Okay.
This is the
instead
same
of 7 months, it'll be 5 months. It will be 5 months instead of 7.
I've also engaged a lot of vegans who feel very superior to us meat eaters. And how much does your quinoa cost the universe? So everything has a cost, and that's the thing, right? I'm not a Luddite or a proponent of getting rid of technologies because they cost a lot. I am a fan of ensuring that what you cost is worth it. Now, is it worth it for me to, for example, Christophe, if you could physically see Lake Geneva burning every time you put in a prompt, would you really still ask it to help you create a menu for your daughter's birthday party? Or would you be a bit more conscious? And that's
I hear you. It's bringing consciousness. It's about the same thing, having a farm and having a burger. If you have, I used to be on the farm when I was a kid as well. So I hear you. I used to hunt when I was a kid. All these things, and being aware of that changes a little bit, bring you more consciousness on how you use things. The other part of the equation, and that's not disregarding one or the other, but I was listening to a podcast the other day that a normal car, standard car you use today, just to go get your milk somewhere, will use as much energy as a village will use. I don't remember the duration, let's say a week or 10 days in 1920. So, and every time we create new research, new development, new innovation, we explode the need of energy. So
Yes, we do.
it's normal part of progress, and and now we are running into a race. Now we are getting into something completely different. But when the environment is obviously in trouble, big time, and we have the American that don't give a shit, and overall the rest of the world that panics. But at the same point, nothing is happening really, even in the countries that are most concerned. And AI, in a sense, if they really get to creating the fusion within 4 to 6 years, technology may, again, in this case, save that next level until the next problem that we create
And
ourselves.
so this is the consideration of power users and of people who are trying to use these technologies or claim they're trying to use these technologies to better the world. But the truth is, Bryan, if I were to ask you, how many of the people who attended this course do you really think will create a world-changing idea with this? And how many do you think you have assisted to become better functionaries in their work or to create better birthday menus?
Don't ask me that question, Linda, because
You see, it's tough. It's tough when we have to engage in the
I
ethics
was
of
so
what we
pumped at the
do.
beginning of the course, but no, of course.
It's tough to engage with the ethics of what we do. And I must self-report, Christophe, I work in advertising. So I myself am part of the devil that lives in the capitalist machine because it is my job to make people consume.
No, but I think in the end, if you make more people capable, you hit gold every now and then. And
Yes.
every once in a while somebody does something amazing. So I've got to
Well,
take off because my wife is sitting up here. But
she's
I
sick
was
of you.
what I
No,
no.
she wants more of him. That's why she has to come back in the room.
No, she's sick of us. She came and she told him these people who occupy your time, and now here he is with us again.
So Linda, you could help me in one way. If I could send you in like a internal note that you send to Steph and say, look, I did this course before and I did this other one. And you know what? Bryan wasn't bad on either one of them. And we should look at this.
How influential do you think I am, Bryan?
I
Linda,
think
as being in advertising, don't you love the way he sells himself?
He's amazing, really.
Yeah.
In advertising, we've moved away from the hard sell, but I enjoy Bryan because he is a true artist of the original sell. He just goes for the hard sell and so personable while you do it. I'm a fan of the saying that all things being equal, people do business with people they like. All
Yeah.
things not being equal, people do business with people they like. And you're
Yeah.
very likable, Bryan. Very likable.
And that's why your wife wants to see you now because it's Friday afternoon and it's time.
She doesn't want other people to like you too much.
Yeah.
And Christophe, what do you do with abundant
I'm going to
AI?
leave you guys. Continue chatting. You guys will like each other, by the way.
Well, are we co-host? Are you going to?
I'm going to make
No,
you.
he's going off to his wife. So Christophe, I will find you on LinkedIn if
No,
you
no,
are
no.
okay, and perhaps
You're
we
now the
can
host.
connect.
You're now the host.
Okay, we'll stay 2 more minutes and then we'll go. Bryan, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.
And we
Cheers.
hope you found a great birthday present for your wife. Very well done, by the way, canvassing 20 minds.
Yeah. See you later. Cheers.
Cheers.
Take care. I don't know how to say it in Portuguese. I think it's no. How do you say bye? In Portuguese, do you know?
I know ciao because of the Italians.
And the Spanish.
And the Spanish. Au revoir, obviously.
And yeah, you can use it in all Latin language. You'll be fine.
You know, the Latin languages are a bit incestuous that way. English is weird because we decided to fraternize with the Germanics. Ew.
And, well, it makes it an easy language to learn. I have to give it that.
Very true. Very
More
true.
direct. So yeah, no, basically I'm an AI consultant. I do AI marketing consulting and AI consulting. That's what I do. And I retired several years ago. My wife and I went to travel the world. We came back in the US. We were too young to retire, so we went back and decided, since we were both in tech, we decided what we want to do. So we went back into studying AI, loving it, and looking interestingly enough. I mean, it's really looking at how to use it better, which goes back to what you're saying, the part of it. And my love of marketing, that's my career. I was executive in marketing, and with AI now it really brings a completely different dimension in terms of
amazing.
research, the speed. I see the group we were in, the previous company I was in called Citrix, and there was 9 of us to do product launches, training, and so on. Now you need 2 people, and the second one is for redundancy in case somebody gets sick.
They're there so that your whole department doesn't go on leave on Christmas. And I find what's fascinating about AI is that comment that Bryan made at the beginning, that people feel expertise has disappeared. But what AI does is that if you know nothing about the topic you're discussing, you leave a conversation with AI feeling like a genius because